What if I told you that some of the world's most brilliant minds have argued that 1 + 1 might not equal 2? That mathematics, science, and logic itself might be nothing more than an evolutionary accident. This isn't theory. This actually happened. And the story of how it happened will change everything you think you know about faith and reason. Dr. Marcus Williams, a mid-30s white American Muslim philosopher who moved to Dubai 5 years ago to work at the Emirates Institute for Advanced Studies. Marcus had a unique problem. He was surrounded by brilliant atheist colleagues who constantly challenged his faith with what seemed like unshakable scientific reasoning. Every day at lunch, the same debate would emerge. His colleague, Dr. Peterson, a renowned British physicist, would smile and say,
"Marcus, how can an intelligent man like you believe in fairy tales when we have science?"
But Marcus had been studying something that would turn their entire worldview upside down. He'd discovered that atheism, when followed to its logical conclusion, destroys the very foundation it claims to stand on, and he was about to prove it. One afternoon in Dubai's blazing heat, Dr. Peterson cornered Marcus in the Institute's marble lobby.
"Your so-called divine truths are just evolutionary programming. We learned that 1 + 1 = 2 through experience. No God required."
Interesting, James. So you're saying data creates the program that analyzes it?
Exactly.
Then explain this. I can input 2 + 3 = 5 into this calculator 1,000,000 times. Will it ever write the equation itself?
That's different.
Is it? You're claiming observations create the logical framework that makes sense of observations. It's like saying the spreadsheet created Excel.
Fine, but causality, cause and effect, that's clearly learned through experience.
Perfect. So every effect has a cause?
Obviously.
Including the universe?
Peterson's confidence wavered. Marcus continued.
This is where your brilliant atheist philosophers, Russell, Hawking, Krauss, realized they had a problem. If everything needs a cause, the universe needs a creator. So you know what they did?
Peterson shook his head.
They started denying that causality is absolutely true. Lawrence Krauss literally said there's no way to rely absolutely on rational principles. To avoid God, they destroyed the foundation of science itself. Think about what this means, James. You've tested chemical reactions 1,000,000 times, but under your own philosophy, you can't guarantee they'll work tomorrow. Why? Because you've denied that natural laws are absolutely reliable.
But we trust these patterns.
Exactly. You live like causality is real. You drove here trusting your brakes would work. You're standing under this building trusting gravity won't randomly reverse. You depend on the very principles your worldview forces you to deny.
As they sat down with their lunch, Marcus delivered the knockout blow.
But it gets worse, James. If your mind evolved through random mutations for survival, not truth, how do you know anything you think is actually real?
Peterson stared at his food.
We can trust our reasoning.
Can you? What if evolution gave you a brain that's great at surviving but terrible at finding truth? Darwin himself called this his terrible doubt. Whether a mind evolved from animals could ever be trusted to understand reality.
So what, everything is unknowable?
That's where some of your colleagues end up, claiming there's no absolute truth. Everything is relative. But James, if no one possesses absolute truth, is itself an absolute statement. Didn't they just contradict themselves?
Peterson sat in silence, processing the implications. Marcus continued gently.
Don't you see what happened? By denying a creator, atheism was forced to deny the reliability of logic, the consistency of natural laws, the trustworthiness of human reasoning, and the existence of absolute truth. You literally had to destroy the foundation of science to avoid acknowledging the one who made science possible.
Peterson looked up.
So what's the alternative?
Simple. When you believe in a creator who made the universe with wisdom and order, suddenly everything makes sense. Mathematics works because it reflects divine order. Causality is reliable because it's built into creation. Human reasoning is trustworthy because we were designed to seek truth.
3 weeks later, Peterson knocked on Marcus's office door in the Dubai Institute.
I've been thinking about our conversation. I realized I was living a contradiction, depending on principles my worldview couldn't support.
Marcus smiled.
And
I think I understand now why the Qur'an asks where those who argue against divine signs end up. They end up in intellectual chaos, forced to deny the very reasoning that makes civilization possible.
That evening, as the Dubai skyline glittered in the desert heat, Dr. Peterson found himself reading the Qur'an for the first time, discovering that faith doesn't oppose reason. It provides the only foundation that makes reason trustworthy. The next time someone tells you that believing in God is unscientific, remember Marcus and Peterson's story. The choice isn't between faith and reason, it's between a worldview that supports rational thought and one that accidentally destroys it. What do you think? Can atheism escape this logical trap, or is belief in a creator the only way to preserve human knowledge? Because in a world full of confusion, the truth has never been more important.